Hi, how are you guys? I hope you have a great weekend. So today I make this video to share with you some updates about the migration program of Australia that has been released last week actually. There could be some important updates for you, and I made a slide presentation so that I can share with you. Let me share the screen for you to follow. Okay, here we are. Okay, so in this video, I'll make some presentation about the new migration program in 2021 for you, and then I'll share with you some of the study strategies so that you can get your permanent residence in Australia quicker and safer as well. Let me start by looking at the migration program snapshot. As you can see, the total number of slots for migration program for the financial year 2021 is still 160,000. So it stayed the same as previous year. But there could be a lot of changes in that number as well. As you can see in the table, the total number for global talent visa increases from 5,000 to 15,000, which means 200% increases. And the partner visa increases from 37,000 to about 72,000, which is 81% increase. So where are those increases from? Actually, if you have a look at the employer sponsor, skill independent, skill employer sponsor, and skill work regional, you see those number decreases significantly, about 60% or 55% accordingly. So let's have a look at like the skilled independent figure. It decreases from about 13,000 to 6,500. It should be about 50% decreases. And also if you look at the planning number, it's from 16,000 to 6,500, which represent about 61% decreases. So it's very important that if in the in the new financial year, if you look for like an opportunity to get your 189 visa, it could be very, very difficult. And it could be harder for you to achieve the cutoff points for invitation. So let we start by looking at the point test, and I'll share with you the study strategy later. So for point test, I just recap for you. We can earn points for age from 15 to 30 points, English from 0 to 20, education from 10 to 20, Australian study requirement 5 points. I think everyone could get that 5 points as long as they study 2 years in Australia. For skilled employment points, if you work overseas, you can earn maximum of 15 points. If you work in Australia, you can earn maximum of 20 points. But I don't think anyone can get up to 20 points. It could be very hard, very difficult to get that points. And 10 is quite popular actually. And specialist education points, it's 10. So for special education point, it means that you study a master by research or a doctor degree from Australian education provider, and you can earn 10 points for that. But it needs to be in a very specific sector, in STEM sector. You can find that information on the website of the Department of Home Affairs. And you can earn points for credential community language and professional study in regional and partner skills as well. So the current cutoff points for 189 invitation is about 90, and it is expected to increase to 95 or even 100. So how you can secure 95 or 100? Let we have a look at the golden areas to gain points. As you can see there, we can earn points for, we can maximize the points for age from 25 to 30, it means that we need to be under 33 to get the maximum points. Or if we go over or under, then we get 25, but we shouldn't go over 40. English, 10 to 20, education, 15, 20. Regional study, of course, and STEM study. Now remember, STEM study, you can earn another 10 points for that. I know that many of you do not want to do research and you just want to focus on coursework study because you think research is something hard, something difficult, so you don't go for it and you lose that 10 points. And of course, professional year or CCL, another 5 points. So the total feasible maximum points you can earn is 120 points. Why I say feasible? It means that I calculate based on the very, I think, realistic scenario to make it feasible. I'll show you in the next slide. Okay, so now how to get 120 points? Your questions, right? And here's is how you can get that 120 points based on my calculation. You can go for age 30 if you are under 33 by the time of invitation. English, PD 79 or IELTS 8.0 or bands, you get 20. Education, 20 for PhD degree. And regional study 5, Australian study requirement 5, overseas experience, 10 points. It means that you have 5 years of working experience overseas. And partner points, 10 or single 10. STEM study, 10. Remember, I said STEM study, it means that you study Master by Research or PhD in a specific field of study. So you can double check that. I'll tell you how to check later. CCL 5 and Australian study experience 5. Sorry, Australian working experience 5. So the total you can get is 120. Very, very feasible. But in order to get the point, it could be a little bit hard and you need to try harder. So now with that kind of like point breakdown, you can earn maximum 120, right? And now I'll show you the study strategy for STEM sector. So STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So if you go for STEM sector, then that is the strategy for you to follow. Finish your bachelor at the age of 22, go for work for another 5 years overseas. So by the time you get like 27, you go to Australia to do your PhD. And you won't finish your PhD by 31. Why that? Because actually with your bachelor, you can proceed to PhD study if you have honor equivalence. And try to get 1 year of Australian experience and get PD 79, CCL, single or fully qualified partner. Why I say is fully qualified partner, it means that your partner can bring you 10 points. It's equal to your single status, 10 points. And you need to study in regional area. If that's the case, if you are in that scenario, you will earn 120 points. And here's the point breakdown for you. Age 30, overseas experience 10, education 20, Australian experience 5, English 20, CCL 5, single or partner point 10, regional study 5, STEM sector 10, and Australian study requirement 5. So the total points you would have is 120. Like I said, the expected cutoff points for 189 invitation in the future could be 95. So the gap between 120 and 95 is 25 points. And you can lose maximum of 25 points. And where to lose? CCL 5. So if you can't get CCL, you lose 5 points. If you can't get jobs in Australia for 1 year at least, with at least 20 hours a week, you lose another 5 points. If you can't get PD 79, let's say IELTS 7 or band, or PD 65 only, you get 10 points for English only. So it means that you lose another 10 points for English. And if you can't go for PhD, you go for Master by Research only. Then you lose another 5 points for your education. So in total, you lose 25 points and you would score maximum of 95 points. I think it's quite easy, achievable, that you can do that. Or you can lose in another area like working experience overseas, 10 points. If you can't, if you lose that 10 points, then you need to get PD 79, or you can gain like Australian experience instead, for example. So if that's the case, then you still receive 95 points. With 95 points, you can aim at 189, 190, or even 858 visa. 858 is actually the global talent visa. And you can go for that if you have publications, if you can show that you are working in STEM sector and you have commitment and you have a nominator as well. So with that kind of study strategy, you have 3 options to go for your permanent residence in Australia. Now, what about the other sector? If you're not in STEM sector, what should you do? Okay, here's the study strategy for non-STEM sector. The same as STEM sector. Try to finish your bachelor at 22, go for work for 5 years, finish your PhD by 31, get 1 year of Australian experience, PD 79, CCL single or fully qualified partner, study in regional areas. If you follow that pathway, that study strategy, you would score up to 110 points. And the point breakdown is there. You can have a look. So the gap between 110 and 95 is actually 15 points. Where to lose that 16 points? Okay, if you can't get CCL, lose 5 points. You can't get Australian experience, lose 5 points. If you can't do PhD, lose another 5 points. So if that's the case, then try to maximize the points that you can have, and you can score at least 95 to go for your permanent residence. And if you go for, if you can get like 95, you can go for 189, 190, or 858. Okay, why I put 858 here, the global talent visa here? Because a lot of you are not in one of the 7 sector, one of the 7 the 7 critical sector. Okay, there could be some ways that you can convert or you can claim to be a data scientist. If you are good at like big data analysis, then, and you have good publications in that sector, then you can claim to be a data scientist and you can be invited for 858 visas. Some of the important things that you need to remember if you go for that kind of study strategy. Okay, one is that double check the criteria of the course that you study to make sure that it is a STEM recognized course. How to check it? Go to criteria.education.gov.au. To check it, just type in your criteria code number and then press search. And you will see the field breakdown of your course. If it is in like a STEM sector, you can double check it in the website of Home Affairs. Then you will be sure that your STEM recognized course. Double check the postcode of the campus that you want to study to make sure that it is the original postcode. Okay, sometimes you study somewhere, you think it is original postcode, but it's not. So double check it to make sure that it is original. So you don't lose that 5 points. Remember to live and study in region area for at least 2 academic years. Now, the definition in the Home Affairs saying that in order to gain that 5 points for regional study, you need to live and study in that area, in that regional area for at least 2 academic years. So now remember, 2 academic years, it's not 2 calendar years. So remember that and try to find definition on the website of Home Affairs, then you will see. And try to maintain evidences of your regional living and studying, of course, because you won't be required to provide that kind of evidences when you launch your visa application to make sure that you are eligible for that points. And definitely during your study, during your master by research or PhD study, try to publish internationally recognized journal articles or book chapters to increase the chances to be invited under the global talent visas. So I hope that you will find that video like interesting and updated with information and study strategy for you. If you have further questions or concern, you can contact me based on those information. I can share with you some of the experience that I have, and based on my personal experience as well, because I migrated to Australia under PhD program, and actually I am not like a holder of 858, because by the time I apply for my PR is not available there, and I apply my PR under Vic 190 for PhD. So I'll share with you some of my experience in journey as well. If you like the video, remember to click like and subscribe to my channel so that you can get updated to some information that I can share with you in the future. I hope you enjoy it and have a good weekend and enjoy your day. Bye bye. See you next time.